Hello, good people. It's your man L.A. Cheatham.
It's Benjamin
Watch the
Banneker.
game
What's up?
sports.
What's
Let
up,
me get
good
my
people?
headphones in.
You good? You good? You good?
Yeah, I snatched my headphones out at the wrong damn time. It's your man L.A. Cheatham. Watch the game sports. Good people. What's happening?
What's going on, Benjamin Banneker? Yeah, we had a few technicals. You knocked the headphones out. I didn't get the intro up there right like I wanted to, but whatever.
Yeah, we trying to get it together like the Bears offense.
That's what I'm saying. We
Show
one
some
and four.
improvement.
We 1-3.
Yeah, we getting it together here. Watch the game and it's been so long ago, Penn, since not really long ago, but from a content perspective, from so much can happen in one day and so many in just a few hours. But it's been a while since our Bears took on the Washington Commanders on primetime Thursday night football in Washington with an impressive victory of 40-20 over the Commanders. One key thing to point out is this before we get started. The last time the Bears won a football game, it was in a national audience. I think it was a Monday night football game.
First New England.
Yes, versus New England. And what was it? 14 straight losses after that.
Yep.
And then you're going to another Thursday night matchup, going in at 0-4 with a lot of rumors and a lot of controversy and capitalizing on of a performance that they had against the Denver Broncos that game they blew at Soldier Field. They come out impressively against Washington and beat the Commanders. Um, I don't want to, unless you got something, but I don't want to focus a whole lot on that game. But it is worth mentioning that, of course, Justin Fields had a really good football game, leading. I think he's one of the leaders in touchdown passes in the NFL. That's a great for him, but as far as the overall team aspect, they were 1-4. And DJ Moore is the NFL Offensive Player of the Week. First time a Bears wide receiver has took that award since 1999. Marcus Robinson, a
Number
long time.
86, I believe.
I think Marcus, you talking about his jersey number?
Yeah, I think he was
I think
86.
Marcus Robinson wore 88, if I'm not
88?
mistaken.
Okay. Yeah, it's
Yeah, so
24 years
1999.
ago. Yeah.
Yeah. So 1999, since he's won that award, and then DJ Moore coming in, winning that award again as a Bears wide receiver. Been a long time since that happened. But those are a couple positive, because negatives. We got some injuries with the running backs, and then the positively got some guys coming off injuries on the other side of the ball. When you talk about the defensive secondary taking form, going back to maybe his original form with I think Eddie Jackson may be returning for the Minnesota game, and I think Kyler Gordon. Um, Briscoe's been battling, man. Briscoe's been battling, been taking a hit over the past few weeks for some of his antics on the field during some of the losing, but he's been banged up and getting back into games, man. And you got to give it up to him for even battling to stay, one of the last legs of the starting core, that defensive backfield. But Briscoe back, Jalen Johnson will be back, I believe. So three of your four members of your secondary coming back to form it up. But you got some good performances out of guys like Strowman with his pick. And did he have a sack in the last game? Didn't they send him out on the
Uh,
blitz? I think it was
I
Strowman. But
I feel like that's right. Man, that game feels so long ago.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But before I went, I didn't want to go. I didn't want to move on from that victory without talking about those things. Um, uh, what you got on it, man? Because
That
I mean, I
game
got a
was
lot to say. We're gonna get it in quick tonight.
that game was eerily similar to Do you remember they wasn't the Commanders? They was the Washington football team, and Mitch Trubisky was the quarterback. It was a Monday night game, and we went into FedEx Field and kind of got some things right offensively that night. This is how that game felt to me again. Obviously, with Justin, balling out, DJ Moore being Offensive Player of the Week, NFL Offensive Player of the Week with 3 touchdowns. I think 230 yards. Um, it just reminded me a lot of that game. The only difference is Washington is better now. When Mitch went in there, Mitch and the Bears and the company went in there, that Washington was just, a bottom tier, a bottom feeder team. So it's kind of like a glorified scrimmage. They got to work on some things, get some things right. And the effort, well, not even the effort, the performance that the Washington Redskins football team Commanders put out there last Thursday. We heard all this about, they got one of the best defensive lines in football. We didn't really see that. We heard a lot of talk about Sam Howell and how he was, really taking the offense and this franchise by storm, being the quarterback, and Ron Rivera believing in him. And we didn't really see that. It was just a lot similar to that game. So that was my biggest takeaway from it. And it was good to see Justin put two of them together back to back. Well, I guess you can say 1.5 because he had some turnovers in that Broncos game, but he played a clean game of football versus Washington. So that was my biggest takeaways. Still, we didn't see no Deontay Foreman, if I'm correct.
Scratch, a healthy scratch. And
Yeah,
the thing about that is, I felt some kind of way the last 2 weeks that he was a healthy scratch. And now you done kind of kick-started some things in my thought process because, and I'm glad you did that because several things happened. He was a healthy scratch. Chase Claypool was traded, which I'm not happy about for the simple reason that I
because he
feel
told the
that
truth.
he told the truth in a lot of people's opinion, and the Bears organization allowed a reporter and a question that they were asked him, and he was honest about with his answer. And if that was their final straw, that's what I'm pissed off about because you know even though we're not used to great wide receiver play in Chicago, the best wide receiver we've probably seen up until this point was probably
Brandon Marshall.
Brandon Marshall. Brandon Marshall. And the thing about it is, most of your wide receivers are kind of outspoken and they want the football. Look at Chase in Cincy. He said he's open all the damn time. He's open all the time. Um, your great wide receivers, most of them feel that way.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? And Claypool was kind of passive aggressive when he made his comment. He didn't exactly be as bold as those guys were, but he did leave us with the impression that he was not happy with the way he was being used in the offense. And and to our credit as fans, we were able to criticize and critique him in the Green Bay game for things like not blocking, more effort, stuff like this. He comes out against Tampa and things are looking up. He catches one of the biggest highlight plays of the season up to that point, up until they played Denver.
right,
But he made a tough catch in that Tampa game, and I thought he was making progress. Uh, then they go into KC, and he makes a tough catch the very first play of the game. The Bears are backed up in the end zone, and I think Justin took a chance, and I think he bailed Justin out. Claypool bailed Justin out on that play because he broke his route, turned around, tipped, got the 10 toes in, caught the ball, got him out of the end zone. Now they could go into the offense. Now that KC game, we didn't expect them to beat KC, but me myself personally, I just thought Chase was showing progress until now the following week, as of maybe a Wednesday or a Thursday, all of a sudden Courtney Cronin, asks him this question. No, nothing against Courtney. She was just doing her job, and he was just being honest. And next thing you know, Friday or now Saturday, he's inactive and don't come to the damn game on Sunday.
Yeah.
They, you know, and I just think it was a punk move, kind of a cowardly move, if that was the final straw. Because most of your wide receivers want the football, and they all think they're open. Most of your good ones, anyway.
Yeah, and I'm looking at it like you just outlined how Chase was making progress, right? Chase was showing on the field progress, and he gets cut for quote unquote being honest. Now that tells me either it was some stuff going on behind the scenes that we wasn't privy to, and they was just sick of him. But if we just talking about on the field, we saw the progress, but then we got a guy, and you know I'm about to come back to this. We got a guy like Velvet Jones.
You okay? This why we do this. We on the same page.
That's what I'm saying. We got a guy like Velvet Jones who's been able to be gifted a roster spot because I think we on the same page where we can say at to this point he hasn't earned it other than being Ryan Poe's pick. That's
Yeah,
it. He
yeah,
had what has he done to contribute to winning in his tenure here with the Bears? I know he's done some things to contribute to losing. He's
yeah.
had some
Most
some costly
definitely.
mistakes.
Hmm.
So now if you're gonna tell me Chase not blocking in week one and then coming out and saying they not using me right, well then what the hell are we doing? We got DJ Moore on tape talking to Tampa Bay.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
and,
yeah,
and, and who was that? Levante Davis said they not using him right, and he doubled down on it.
yeah. He said, "Tell me about it." Yep, yep,
So
yep.
what are
I
we
mean,
doing
if we gonna
here?
take sound bites, we can take that one.
Yeah,
Even and then that was in the heat of the battle. And you have like if I just blurt out a statement to you or blurt out a question, you have two choices. All you can do is respond. And I can either like your response or not like your response. But that should not, I mean, based on what you say, the words you choose to use, that can affect how I feel. But what I'm saying is, if you're just saying you're not happy with the role in the offense, then that's one thing. But if you just bash an organization, that's totally up. That's something else. You know what
and,
I'm saying?
right.
You should expect every athlete, any player, to feel like they can contribute at a high level. Now, at that point, if you're going to look at it two ways, you can either take the route that the Bears took, which was always controversial, let's cut him, or you can say, okay, let's put him to the challenge. Let's see what he really wants. Let's put him in the plan. Then you go from there and say, look, he ain't getting it done. Let's get rid of if he ain't getting it done. But they allow a media member to come into the organization and throw salt in the game, and now they scrambling trying to find somebody because they just signed a 6'6", 240 pound wide receiver. His name escapes me right now, and I get a chance, I'm gonna go in and I'll get that name to you. But what I'm telling you is, okay, EQ got hurt. EQ St. Brown gets hurt against Washington. He didn't practice today. So now you still trying to scramble and find the Chase Claypool prototype or what you thought you needed in a big wide receiver with speed or good hands. They're still trying to replace it. They're still trying to replace it. So they traded him away for basically nothing. And when you talk about Valus, all he's doing right now is sitting back on kick return, letting the ball go into the end zone and just run back to the sideline.
That
That's the contribution he had in the game in the win against Washington. That's what he's been. That's what I've seen him doing that against Denver. So he has no impact on the kick return. You know what I'm saying? I came up with maybe you call this maybe a favorable trade for Vegas. We could trade Valus Jones to St. Louis for a ninth round pick.
listen, man, listen. I
Two things
man,
that don't even exist.
exactly, exactly. That's what I'm saying. and I'm just going through it just in my mind. Maybe it's just a systemic problem that the Bears organization has when it comes to, I guess, offensive weapons, not the quarterback or running back. Speaking of, remember, Martellus Bennett, he got flack because he basically was challenging not the organization, just the coaching staff, and it was rooted in because he wanted to win.
Yeah.
Brandon Marshall, when he started trying to hold Jay Cutler accountable, they shipped him up out of here. The only
Yeah.
time I remember it not going left was Musin Muhammad basically saying he was done with Kyle Orton, put Rex Grossman back in the game. But
Okay. Hmm.
and how long
Yeah.
ago is that? That's probably back to when Marcus Robinson was player of the
Yeah.
week.
Yeah. Now that's the thing is like they make those comments and stuff like that, and then like you said, the difference, the common denominator, or the thing you could point out was those was the Mark Trestman years when you're talking about Martellus Bennett, with his comments, and we had some similar situations here with this. A lot of people was comparing this situation now that the Bears are in up until week 4. They were comparing it to the Mark Trestman years as the dysfunction and stuff like that. Now, I don't think that it has gotten quite that bad because there was some really bad things that happened in Mark Trestman's second
Especially
season
that
as the
second year.
Bears
Yeah.
football coach. I mean, I forget they even had a player go in at after people in the front office, physically trying to attack and to threat people in the front office. I think his name was Ratcliffe, but um, just dysfunction, and winning cures all. But we gave up Claypool for the some week, two some week. We gotta wait 2 seasons to figure out. Well, basically 2 summers to find out what it is we
Yeah.
got for Chase Claypool.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, I just don't think they handled that well. Shout out to my man Jamal Garrett. He liked us up on
Yo, yo,
Facebook.
yo. What up,
So
Jamal?
Jamal, what's up? That's Coach Garrett over in EC, one of the he doing double duty at EC, man. He coached on football. I think he's the defensive coordinator on the football team at East Chicago Central High School, and I think he'll be coaching the freshman basketball team this season. So shout out to Jamal. He a Baltimore Ravens fan, so him and big cuz Bob, they Baltimore Ravens fans, which was they didn't have a great weekend this week. They struggled and
They dropped
lost. I
that game
forget.
to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, lost to Pittsburgh. I think it was a 17-10.
Yeah, it
And when
was
you think
ugly.
about Lamar Jackson only putting up 10 points, man, come on, man, they got to do better. But um, now we getting ready for this Minnesota matchup, and we probably won't be long tonight. But we getting ready for this Minnesota matchup. Uh, Minnesota is there's they've been in the news lately. Okay, first, I think Justin Jefferson has been marked put on injured reserve, so he'll probably be out for 4 weeks. And then you got all these rumors about Kirk Cousins being traded to the Jets. Now, I don't like talk a lot about rumors. He don't watch the game because that's what we do. We watch the game, but we can't go into this matchup without talking about, especially Justin Jefferson, not being a part of that game plan going into week 6, coming into Soldier Field to play the Chicago Bears. Um, Defensively, it kind of even things out for the defensive secondary. Matt Eberflus was on today at his press conference, and he said they asked him about how that affects his approach to the game plan without Justin Jefferson being on the field, and he was just basically saying it kind of just puts you back at your base defense. You don't have to do anything special, favoring to that one side of the field. So that's pretty much what he said about that. And we also found out that the Bears are seeking and maybe hiring a senior football defensive analyst, I think it was, to kind of help out ahead of time against the opponent. So, and a senior advisor, I think it was, for the defense.
Okay.
So, a lot of speculation on who that was. Maybe Lovey Smith. he already ruled out one coach. I forget his name. Who's the coach at Rob Marinelli. Rob Marinelli. He ruled him out. He said he's happily retired at 75 years old. A lot of people was talking about maybe Leslie Frazier. So just a couple names you can throw out there. We have no idea who it is as of this point, but they are talking about getting a senior defensive and some guy to help out on the defense as far as helping out Eberflus. Eberflus is going to continue to call the defense.
Just whatever they do with that move, or whether Eberflus survives and gets to coach this team for the foreseeable future, or they bring into a defense a new D coordinator. I just want them to get it right, because just as Bears fans, we've had a lot of coaching turnover. It's hard to build a program and stability when you got a lot of turnover. And seeing how this defense is generally looked the last 2 years, I just want somebody to come in there, steady the ship, and make this defense perform at a mid-tier level. That's it. I'm not asking for top 5. I'm not asking for top 10. Okay? Give me 14 to 18. I can work with that. Be able to stop the run. Be able to get a timely stop every now and then. Because it's pretty much how the games go. If the offense don't start cooking and keep cooking, the defense can't hold up. And we even, just to go back to the Washington game, there was a point in that Washington game we was like, oh man, it's about to happen to us again. So I just want them to get this that higher, that side of the ball right. I know everything is catered toward the offense. I know everything is catered towards Justin. That's where all the narrative goes. Okay, but the name of the game is scoring more points and keeping your opponent from scoring less points than you. And that's I feel like really that's the biggest weakness of the team. Take Justin off the table. The defensive side of the ball, and Eberflus is the defensive coach. That's the weakest area of the team.
Yeah, we won't stay on stable defense before we get into the offense because there's a lot to talk about there as well. But like you said, want to see some consistency, getting to the pass, getting to the quarterback, stopping the run, and that's pretty much getting off the field on third down. Those are the key, keeping of course keeping the penalties off the field, and that's your winning formula for winning on defense. Getting off the field, getting to the quarterback, stopping the run, and keeping your penalties to a minimum. It should be successful. We talked about them bringing it back. Three guys out of the defensive secondary coming back, three starters coming back, possibly from Minnesota. So with Minnesota taking a hit to their receiving core, the Bears pass receive the pass defense should improve, you would think, with the return of Jackson, Gordon, and Johnson.
But
So
that's
go
that's the
ahead.
thing. That's the thing with our defense. Like we look at this and we see, oh, Justin Jefferson out. So the defense should be able to at least hold serve. And they'll probably go out there and let Addison or somebody have a career day or something like that. Like that's the type of letdown that we just get accustomed to as Bears fans. And we just want to see, like, okay, just the best player on their team is not playing.
Hmm.
Take advantage of that.
Yeah,
Don't fall asleep.
you just pointed something out too, and it's how you're thinking about it. It's like, okay, so Jefferson is out. Who's our next best guy to key in on? Because you don't want to get too hell bent on him. But like you said, Addison might be the next guy that they, be looking forward to getting him more balls, getting him more opportunities to make plays in the offense. Um, Another thing is with the departure of Chase Claypool and us being Bear fans. Now, I believe that N'Keal Harry is I don't know if he's on the active roster now with Justin Jefferson being down for 4 weeks. N'Keal Harry, I believe, is on that roster for the Minnesota Vikings. Now, when the Bears decided not to bring N'Keal Harry back this season, I felt some kind of way about that. But at the same time, I did feel good about Chase Claypool because both of these guys give you pretty much the same thing in dimension. You talk about N'Keal Harry, I think he's 6'4", maybe 230 pounds, another big target. But when you look at what he did with the Bears, for the opportunities he was given, he executed. He executed. Had some big plays in Dallas. I think he has some big plays against. I think it was Miami last season or something like that. But I hated to see that they didn't bring him back. And now when we looking at guys like Valus Jones, we need him to step up. Nothing. Um, I believe Mooney will get it going sooner or later. But you cannot expect for DJ Moore to go out and have the type of night he had against Washington consistently. Now, Cole Kmet has stepped up and he's making plays. Maybe we can get Robert. They can get Robert Tunyon um, going a little bit more. But I absolutely do not want to see the Bears defense let N'Keal Harry come into Soldier Field
And have a
and
field
have a
day.
day
Yeah,
because this guy was on your roster a year ago.
yeah.
We're not even a year removed from trading for Chase Claypool. That happened in November of last year.
At the
So we
deadline,
couldn't
yeah,
even keep him
yeah.
for a calendar year, you know. So I don't want to see N'Keal Harry come into town and have a career day against one of his former football teams. They gave up a 6th round pick for N'Keal Harry um, to the Patriots. And like I said, I thought N'Keal Harry was showing some good things, and they decided not to bring him back. So I
It's
don't want to
almost
see
like
him come in.
what are they looking for from that position? They know the body type they're looking for because they
Yeah.
keep going to trying to get that. But what
Hmm.
are you looking for on the field? Because like you said, N'Keal Harry showing progress, Clay Claypool showing progress. Both of these guys are no longer on the team. So what are you looking for from that position?
Yeah. Me myself, I like having that one big receiver because when you got a guy like DJ Moore, you got like Mooney, when you got those guys that could stretch the field a little bit more per se, you can be a little bit more versatile as to how you use them. Slot, stretch the field, and then you got those big catch radius type of receivers where you could just they don't have to run all the long big routes. They can just kind of be possession guys. Then after you loosen things up, then you can stretch the field with them. So I just think they want to have that another wide receiver with that catch radius and the speed in the hands. The speed most definitely would certainly help. But the big catch radius, when you're talking about Justin Fields giving him somebody he can count on, because someone's going to capitalize on DJ Moore. You have to figure out what you're gonna do with DJ Moore. So he may have to be a decoy from time to time. So who's going to capitalize on DJ Moore's matchups, be it a double coverage or you know what I'm saying, being bracketed some kind of way? What other receivers going to capitalize on that? Now, like I say, Mooney, I believe he Justin hit him, but I think Mooney, uh, I don't know if his approach to making these catches against Washington was exactly fundamentally sound. But they just couldn't hook up against Washington. But I just thought having a big receiver myself would help Mooney out as well because uh because it kind of takes some attention away from him and he can kind of sneak out and kind of get forgotten about. But now without that other receiver, now you can kind of capitalize on Mooney and DJ Moore more often, and you ain't got to worry about that big catch radius guy unless you can get Tunyon or commit more opportunities in the passing game. So going forward, I don't know. I think they should be doing. I think they may try and do some of that. Now, this is the other thing that concerns me about the Bears offense. Of course, we want to see Justin improving the passing game. But what's pissing me off is It's two things. The damn tush push. I'm tired of that. Even though it works. Don't get me wrong.
They gonna
I
rule that
understand
out.
it works.
Yeah, the
But
competition committee gonna take that out.
yeah, but that might be something that happens next season
Yeah,
or no off
yeah,
season. They may I can see maybe they'll take it out. It's even trickled down to the college game. You see
yeah,
the college teams running a little bit. But what I don't like about it is because what's gonna happen is I can see a concussion coming on for somebody. And remember when years ago when Patrick Mahomes injured his knee,
yeah,
it was on a quarterback sneak. So and then you got all of the people that want to see all these design quarterback runs for Justin Fields. I'm not big on that. If you look at the Washington game, they tendencies were like this. Okay, we get the ball back off punt return. Okay, so now we at the 20-yard line, 30-yard line. The first play was a quarterback run, and this happened at least three possessions. That the quarterback run play, in my opinion, for one, you shouldn't be too deep into your own territory when you run it. And it shouldn't be the first play you run on a fresh defense that just came off the sideline. Okay? Now, you wear the defense down. You got the running game. Well, because up at this point, Khalil Herbert hadn't been injured. Okay? Maybe a little bit later. But I just was not happy on when they decided to run the quarterback run plays based on field position and and down in distance, and it being the first damn play coming off the sideline against a fresh defense. What you think they keyed in on? Justin Fields. So you got to wear the defense down, show them some things, give them some ball tricks in the backfield. You know what I'm saying? Then we can do some quarterback runs. I don't really like the quarterback runs. I think Justin is better. Look at what he did with the bot snap. The snap went over his head. He got it. He gathered. He just ran ahead. That was a broken play. That wasn't designed.
yeah.
So Justin is better at broken plays. You don't have to set up quarterback runs for him. Let him grow. Let him ball out. Let the kid ball out, man. Let him continue to throw the ball down the field. And when he decides to take off, when he sees that he can trust, that he can move the chains, let him do it. This is my problem with Justin though. When he does decide to take off,
Spinning
he
backwards.
he always decides to take on a safety or a
Uh,
corner. He never gets to the sideline. And I just think that says he's going to be injured sooner or later. I know you 6'3", 230 pounds. Okay, cool. But dude, get out of bounds. Don't keep taking on these safeties and corners right in between the numbers. Get outside the numbers and let the sideline, dictate so that maybe we can get a flag. Maybe you can get a late hit if you just so happen. But when you get to the sideline, just get out of bounds and get to the next play. Because there's been a few occasions, I think it was against KC, where he decided to run. He cut up to the numbers, but if he would have broke to the outside, it would have been a touchdown, I believe. Justin gonna win. He's gonna win most foot races.
oh yeah, yeah,
So just get to the
yeah.
sideline and see what you can get from there. That's how I feel about Justin and the quarterback run plays as opposed to Justin running
we
on broken plays.
we might see a lot of them this week. Because Khalil got the ankle, and Roshan Johnson got a concussion. So
Yeah,
you like who gonna tote the rock this week? And I've been seeing
yeah.
trade rumors about Deontay Foreman. Why did you even sign him in the first place? We seen him on the field in the regular
Uh,
season game? I don't believe.
yeah, he played against the Packers in week one, and he's been a healthy scratch, I think, ever since then.
There we
And
go.
that's another problem I have with Velus Jones being on the field. Because all I could think about, and I know you got Travis Homer as well. He was a special team guy. He's a running back.
He got a hamstring.
He went down with a hamstring.
Yeah.
So
So who?
now
Yeah.
it's Deontay Foreman, and they signed Dravington Evans from the Miami Dolphins practice squad, and now they signed him on to the Bears active roster. So you might see him. He was a guy that they had in training camp. I think it was last season, maybe in the off season a little bit. So he knows the system. So we can expect to see him and Foreman. I believe I haven't heard anything about any Foreman trade rumors, but they gonna have to count on Deontay Foreman to be the downhill runner that he is, uh, going against Minnesota in Week 6. So, um, I think I'm pretty much wrapped tonight, so you could get to the studio, man. But if there's anything else you need to say about this whole matchup with Minnesota, I
Yeah,
think we covered some of the major.
we got
Defense got to get to the quarterback.
you got
Okay.
two desperate teams. Minnesota, they finding out what life is like when you don't win them one score games this year. It's completely flipped because they've been in every game, but they just losing them this year. When last year, what they was like 11-0 in those one score games. So I think they are I think they got the same record as us, right? 1-4.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes.
so two desperate teams on the field on the lakefront this Sunday. If the Vikings lose this game, I think you could see some major shakeups. I think you could see them start to be sellers at the trade deadline. That Kirk Cousins thing might actually come to fruition, even though Zach Wilson is playing a little bit better, and I was happy to see Zach Wilson play better. Um, just because he's in an impossible situation. But I was just happy to see him go out there, kind of put the noise to the side, and have a decent game, even though they still lost
Yeah.
to Kansas City when I saw him play. But yeah, so I think it's a big game for both teams. Nobody's really out of this thing yet. Nobody's out of it. We still very early. What we just crossed the quarter mark in the season.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's still a lot of football left to be played. But I think if this thing goes sideways for Minnesota, you could see a lot of changes start to happen with them, including holding Justin Jefferson out for an extended amount of time to make sure he's like healthy, 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 healthy before he gets back on the field. I just outlined the Kirk Cousins thing. So it's a lot that's going on to it for the Vikings. But you know, I'm not gonna make a prediction on it just because I just don't trust my Bears. I don't know what they're gonna give me.
Gotta
So
see. Gotta
I
see more. Gotta
yeah,
see more. Yeah.
yeah. All I can tell you is I'm gonna be watching it. That's it.
Yeah. Shout out to my man Emmanuel Steele. He sent us a like out
Yo, yo,
on his
yo.
Facebook tonight. So Steele, what's happening? Uh the one thing too, man, just getting to the quarterback. I think Ngakwe got to him, how against Washington.
He
Need to
did.
see
He
more
had
of
one.
that. They had
Yeah,
5 sacks.
yeah.
They had 5 sacks against Washington. You need to see that. Had a pick by Strowman. Let's get some turnovers. Let's see if we can get Justin some easy opportunities to score and flip the field a little bit more. The defense, special team, just don't be, just don't do nothing crazy.
We
And
no
I
orange
want to
jerseys
see.
this week, right?
Say that again.
No orange jerseys this week, right?
No, I don't. I don't think so. I don't
Okay.
think so. I think they'll be wearing the navy blue,
Okay.
getting ready
Good.
for this National Football Conference North Division game. So against the Minnesota Vikings, and
Woo!
so the mission to take the North is still within our midst. Got to take advantage of that. When you're looking at Green Bay losing to, they're kind of on a down spiral right now. After Week 1 beating the Bears, I think Green Bay is like 2-3
Two
now.
and three. Yep, they lost to the Raiders
Yeah,
last Monday Night Football. They lost.
yeah, 17-13. I believe the final score of that game. Um, Detroit is rolling. Detroit looking good. I think they what 4-1.
Yeah,
So they looking good. I mean, I think they got the stronghold on the division. But when you're looking at Chicago, Minnesota, Green Bay, teams that's still figuring it out. Now the Bears don't play Detroit up until week 13, I believe. The Bears got a few games before they go into their bye. Green Bay is going into their bye this week, so I'm not familiar with who else is into the bye week so far this week, but um, Green Bay is going into their bye this week. Um, So the Bears got some time left to play these football games and get it working. One thing to point out is last year the Bears got it going against kind of going against Washington on a primetime Thursday night game that they end up losing. Justin had some plays that he probably would have wanted back, some missed throws and maybe an interception that he had in the red
Mooney
zone.
at the goal line. Yep.
Yeah, and they you could see the offense at that time after a mini bye at that time, I believe it was.
No, they had that Thursday night game, and then they had the Monday night game that followed.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's when we seen the offense kind of, you know, take some positive strides. So now we coming into that situation with Minnesota, was Minnesota dealing with some injury issues and some issues just in general, you know what I'm saying? So now the Bears with a chance to this is the mini buy on the upswing. So can we and we going home against it's not a road game. We coming home now to play against the Minnesota Vikings. So I'm thinking that we should see more success. It's going to be interesting to see what happens in the run game with maybe Deontay Foreman and Drevington Evans taking the snaps. Shout out to my man Kari Blasingame because he had to finish that game with like 3 yards, 4 yards in a cloud of dust, playing fullback, and then he had to
Shout out
step
Neil
up.
Anderson.
Yeah, yeah. Number 35, Neil Anderson, and number 35 at this point, Kyrie Blasingame. Now, I don't up to this point, they haven't even exploited his ability to get out in the flat and catch passes. So hopefully that can be something we can see more of with Kyrie Blasingame, more of an opportunity on the offensive in the offense of catching the ball because they're going to have to find someone else to take up the attention that DJ Moore is going to get. You got to be able to play off of him as a decoy a little bit. He's not going to go. I don't think he's going to go out and have 230 yards worth of catches every week. So getting other guys involved in the offense is going to be very important. Keeping Justin healthy is going to be very important. They keep dropping Nathan Peterman. They cutting him every other week to make all these roster moves and then your boy Tyson Bajan has been the backup. One thing Tyson has done that I do like, that I do approve of, I don't want to see him on the field anytime soon, but he's gotten rid of them damn black cleats. So Tyson Bajan is styling on the sideline. That's why I want to see him. Keep the white cleats on, Tyson, and just look good. And as long as with Justin play good, you can look good. And that's what I want. I want to see Tyson wearing the white cleats on the sideline with the clipboard and helping up his teammates if they just so happen to fall, at his feet. So, um, just a few things, that I want to touch on. But we're gonna finish up on this because we try and get into college football and stuff like that. So two games that I think that was week 6 we just finished, or week 7
Yeah.
we just finished in college
They
football.
no, we're going into 7 because they a week
Okay.
ahead of the NFL. Yeah.
Two games that stuck out with me was Texas. They just can't beat Oklahoma in the Red River rivalry when they need to. They were ranked as high as number 3 in the country going into this game and end up losing at the end. But I think Oklahoma kind of dominated most of that game. Texas came back, took the lead, and ended up losing at the end. I was really hoping Texas could maintain, but it's going to be interesting to see, you know, how they finish the season off after losing the Red River rivalry again. And then later on that night, I very rarely do this, but I was able to stay up and watch the entire USC versus Arizona game. Well, Arizona went to USC, and I was able to watch the whole game. And I really don't like to see overtime football because I think once two teams get to 35 points, it's not too short of a basketball game at that point. But I'm not. I don't want Caleb Williams.
Me either.
I
I
don't
say
want Caleb Williams. I
get
like
Marvin Harrison.
Justin.
Yeah.
Justin's going through his adversity, and I just don't know if Caleb Williams is going to play really well in structure. You know, I think, and I think they're going to be impatient with him too as well. It's going to be really, very important to see where Caleb Williams ends up. Um, because they keep they want to compare him to Patrick Mahomes, and I don't like that because it will give you the indication that he's going into these games and he's reading these clippings, he's hearing all this. You're not Pat, dude. You're not Pat. And I just think that at the NFL level, looking at Caleb Williams' game, I just see him throwing a lot of picks early in his career in the NFL because the defenses in the Pac-12, you know, other than Utah, they're not all that great. They're not all that great. And then he came out of the from the from he's in the Pac-12, coming from Oklahoma, where he was in the Big 12,
Those
which is the
defenses not
Patrick
great.
Mahomes.
Yeah,
That's the Patrick Mahomes conference, but no defense.
yeah.
So when you look at all these great plays and stuff like this in college football, and you're watching these quarterbacks, some things you got to look at is taking the ball up under center, whether or not they got a really good running game, and the defenses that they're playing against. When I talk about taking the ball in the center, I'm talking about a shotgun or under center. You know what I'm saying? Because when they sit back and shotgun, 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 okay. But typically, what NFL teams like to do from time to time is put you under center and for like pro style offense. And Caleb Williams has all the talent in the world, but at the end of the day, a little bit under 6 foot, about 216, 215 pounds. He's a running back. That's the size of a running back.
Yeah,
Now, I just don't see his game translating really quickly in the NFL because I just think the defenses are more sophisticated and better with more athletes in those positions that I just don't see him throwing in those tight windows successfully. Now, Drake May, on the other hand, he's more of a pocket guy. So I'm not going to say he's a better prospect, but I don't think he's going to rely more on his athleticism. And I don't think he's going to gamble with the football as much. And I just think that uh, Caleb Williams is a gambler. That's pretty much what I think. And I don't know if that's going to translate to NFL.
I
But
just
they
don't.
got Notre
Yeah,
Dame coming up. Yeah.
I just yeah. I mean, I ain't really thought too much about what his career could look like at the next level. I just don't want him on the Bears. Because then
Yeah.
I just don't want to go through that whole resetting the clock thing. Then we got to go through the growing pains with him. We in the
Yeah.
midst of the growing pains with Justin right now. He's showing
Yeah.
us flashes that he can come up out of this thing and be on the right side of it. And I think just because we in the midst of it, let's see. Let's
Yeah.
see. You know what I'm saying? And then maybe we could flip that pick because we got our pick and we're gonna have Carolina's pick, depending on what
Yeah.
we do, what we pick. But I I'm just not a fan of bringing him in, starting this whole thing over. The
Hmm.
defense is a year old and not like they playing better. I mean,
Yeah.
good, but you know, what I mean, guys like Brisker, they'll be, kind of in the middle of their career. They young guys now. Jalen Johnson, he's a contract guy this year. Like, I'm just not trying to see that.
Hmm.
So, yeah, I would
And
go get Marvin Harrison Jr.
yeah, I give you that one. But this is the thing, because you talk about it, Caleb Williams in Chicago. Let's think about that for a minute. You know how much we see the pressure that's on Justin. Caleb Williams in Chicago. How fast do you think they're going to want to see Caleb Williams turn it around or get it going? And I'm going to say 4 to 8 weeks.
Yeah, definitely within the first year.
Yeah, and if it doesn't happen, definitely by the midway through year two, they're gonna be ready to crap out on him. I just don't want to see him in Chicago because I just think he's going to have his growing pains, and his growing pains are going to be slightly worse, in my opinion, than Justin
Yeah,
because he's not as big, he's not as strong. He's made some very spectacular plays at the college level, but Justin played against better competition in bigger games, and we still don't know if this USC team is going to be in the national title hunt because
and
they don't have any defense either.
you gotta factor in one thing. Even though Justin had played against better competition, and we knew what Justin was as a college quarterback. This guy coming in as the Heisman Trophy winner. He's
Yeah,
he's 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 in the running to do it again. The first time since Archie Griffin.
yeah,
Go blue. Anyway,
yeah,
you know what I mean. So that's a lot of hype to come in with. You the Heisman Trophy winner. You supposed to be Patrick Mahomes, a generational talent, and then come in and like you said, turn this thing around. Like I'm just not a fan of that. I'm not on board with that. So I hope it's Justin. I hope Caleb goes somewhere else and we can just watch it from afar.
yeah.
Maybe, but yeah, I don't want him there.
Shout out to my man Will Bates just joined us, and
Yo 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 yo.
you know we gonna have bring Will on again soon, man. Will to bring that good vibe. But it's been real tonight. Speaking of Caleb Williams, they got Notre Dame this week. I don't see them being able to beat Oregon, and it was another Big 12 team that they may have trouble with, but Oregon definitely. They got Notre Dame this week coming up, so I'm gonna be looking forward to that matchup. So, hey man, week 6, Bears Vikings. I hope that Monday we can talk about a victory and more progress in the process with Justin Fields, and maybe we can get a little bit more into college football next week. Now, I'm out. Go jam out tonight. Watch the game.
We out.